All right, our next question is about the Bears. They fired everybody on Monday. They fired the lady in the lunchroom that puts the vitamins on the trays. They fired valet parking. They fired the dude that changes the towels in the bath. They fired everybody. Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace sent packing. So we've talked about who maybe should replace Nagy. We already know Adam Schefter reported that Brian Daboll was contacted and for to get permission from the Bills to interview him for the head coaching job there. But my question is who should be the next general manager of the Chicago Bears? And I'm going to ask you first, Ryan, who do you have lined up for that?
I'm going to give a glowing endorsement to Vice President of Pro Personnel, Adrian Wilson, for the Arizona Cardinals. I've heard a lot of good things.
Fantastic safety back in the day.
Yeah. One of the best safeties for the Cardinals, went to the Super Bowl against the Steelers, 5-time Pro Bowler. I mean, the guy did it all in Arizona. I mean, his stats speak for itself, but that's for the field. For off the field, I mean, the guy... He dug up the ranks, but didn't just, go up the ranks, in a couple years. He was a scout for a couple years, and now he's all of a sudden VP of pro personnel. And I'm hearing a lot of rumors out there that I think the Giants are looking at him in terms of a vacant GM position. And I don't think the Bears, as of right now, are looking at him right now. But the guy's, 42 years old. And even though I did say Zaven Collins has been a little bit of a dud in the first round, you could probably put that on Keim. But the rest of the draft's concerned, I mean, the Cardinals have put out a lot of talent out there. I mean, Isaiah Simmons has been really good for them at linebacker. I mean, you're looking at Budda Baker. You're looking at so many guys that are really contributing for the Cardinals that, I got to give them credit. They've scouted really well, and there's a reason they've gone from 3-13 2 years ago to 11-win record in 2021. So I think Wilson's resume speaks for itself. I don't know if he's going to get a position this year, but I'm willing to bet next year Wilson's definitely going to be a GM, and I don't think the Bears should just dismiss Wilson.
Yeah, also another thing about Wilson, and one of the things I think is extremely underrated about what the Cardinals did from a player personnel or player acquisition standpoint is bringing in AJ Green. We've talked about it a couple times over the past month or so, but what he provided to that wide receiver group was huge in the face of injuries to DeAndre Hopkins and, inexperience with Rondale Moore and him struggling to stay healthy. He was a constant for the team. So I think that's a big deal as well. And I'm sure Adrian Wilson gets some of the credit for that as the VP of Player Pro Personnel. So
James Conner too. Yeah.
James Conner as well. Yeah. All right, Lorenzo, who do you got?
So I'm going to go with a former Bear. But it's actually somebody who was actually in their front office a while back. And I'm also noticing that his name has officially been considered as the strong candidate for the GM position. Colts director of college scouting, Morocco Brown. Now, here's the tie-in that Brown has with the Bears. From 2001 to 2007, he had served a similar position, pro scouting. Well, that was during the time when he discovered a young man by the name of Brian Urlacher. He also discovered a young man by the name of Lance Briggs.
Yes,
he was building that roster for the Bears that eventually became Lovie Smith's team. Right now, he's with the Colts. He was able to discover a young man by the name of Jonathan Taylor. So I'm thinking, he to me is my top choice for this position.
That one's interesting. That one is interesting. I can't say that I hate it. What about you, Paul?
I got to go with my boy. I've been banging this drum for so many years, and it's about time this man gets the job. Let me introduce you to Smooth Louis Riddick. It is long overdue.
Give it. Bring it.
Main man.
That's my dog.
Okay.
My boy, my man, gets a job as a GM. He has been at every level from player to scout to executive. He is incredibly intelligent. I love hearing him personally. I would hate for this to happen because I wouldn't hear him as much. I'd only hear him like twice a year at the GM conversation as opposed to daily on ESPN. But Louis Riddick is the man. It's been long overdue. I banged the drum when it was between him and Dave Gettleman with the Giants. I said, you guys, you got to go with a newer guy that's got a more modern flair, a more modern understanding of the game. Dave Gettleman, again, computer nerds, analytics, and all that. Louis Riddick has the right balance of both the player side of things, the executive side of things, the scout side of things. I think that's a perfect blend, quite frankly, and he should be the top target for the Chicago Bears.
I almost want to eliminate my target and go with Louis Riddick, because Riddick is one of my favorite, GM candidates out there. Like, I'm going to tell you something about Riddick before I tell you about who I picked. Mm-hmm. Does he know football? Absolutely. Inside out, backwards and forwards, every which way you can know it. Is he a super sharp guy who totally exudes the kind of confidence that would show you that he should be able to be a solid leader of an organization and set a culture, which is very important, especially with the Bears right now. But there's something about Riddick. He has a presence. He is the type of guy who will give your organization an identity. And it goes from him down. There will ultimately start to be Riddick guys if he gets an opportunity. I'm ready to see him get the opportunity. He is phenomenal on Monday Night Football. He's phenomenal on ESPN. I don't know, man. The dude's got it. He's got it. And I think it is definitely time that he gets a job. But he's not my choice. My choice is another young GM candidate, and it is Ran Carthon.
Wow.
I am very big on young executives. Call it the baseball thing in me, because I watched Theo Epstein just turn things on their head in Boston and in Chicago. Seemed like this young whippersnapper that, what does he know? But all of a sudden, he's winning World Series in places that people have never won World Series before. And it's something about that young executive that I like. I also like the fact that Ran Carthon is the son of Maurice Carthon, a former New York Giants running back. So he's got football in his blood. He's another one that has charisma. He has a presence. He can help establish an identity, and he has the experience. He was the 49ers. He's the 49ers pro scout, the manager of the pro scouting department for the 49ers. He used to play in the NFL. Wasn't a fantastic player, but it's fine. He also ran the Rams personnel department. Mm-hmm. So he has success. And what I'm looking at is it's very tough for me to champion a guy getting a job who was running a division of a losing organization. The Niners have been perennial winners or contenders for the last 10 to 15 years. They're usually never just totally out of things. The Rams have built a very solid roster. Obviously, they won. They did what they did. This season and had a fantastic year. I want winners. I'm like Mike Singletary. I want
winners. I was getting Mike Singletary in the head.
That's what I want. I want winners. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's who I would go with is Ran Carthon.